These videos were filmed by a student who was on placement with us here at the MD Support Centre. They have been reviewed and verified by our qualified physio team to ensure that they are safe for our demographic of service users. As with all exercises, please work within your own comfort levels and capabilities.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma Bennett. I'm a student physio from the University of Birmingham. I'm going to be taking you through a full body stretching class today. You will need a chair. If you're in a wheelchair, we just recommend you put the brakes on, and with a chair we just recommend as well that you don't have any wheels on that if possible. As with anything, if you're struggling with any exercises, then adapt them according to how you need to do that. And if there's an exercise that you're struggling with, then you can miss it out completely if that's needed. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start from the head, work our way down to the feet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to drop that ear to that shoulder. And with all the exercises we're doing today, we're going to hold them for about 10 to 15 seconds. It's just making sure you're getting a nice stretch on that, down the opposite side. Down here, and then back to the middle, and then dropping the ear down to the shoulder on the other side. And again, you should feel the stretch on the opposite side that you've dropped the head to. Okay, and back to the middle. Now we're going to look over our shoulders. So we're going to turn the head as if we're going to look behind us. Making sure we're breathing through all of these. And then we're going to come back to the middle. And then we're going to look over to the other side. Same again. Nice relaxed shoulders. And then back to the middle. Okay, now we're going to drop the head in front of us, but we're going to have our arms like this. So they're dangling, but they're supported. If you need to have your arms down by your side, that's absolutely fine. Dropping the head down, you should feel a nice stretch down the back of your neck. Just going to hold that. And then back up. Okay, and then we're going to place our hand here, which is just above the chest, around the collarbone, but slightly more central than the collarbone. And then we're going to look in the opposite direction to where our hand is. So I'm going to look in this direction, and you should feel this stretch down the front of your neck here. And this is more of a diagonal movement. It's not a turn to the side and it's not a look up, it's a bit of both. Okay, and then slowly bring that head back down to the middle. Okay, and then we're going to take this arm down, pop this arm up, again looking in the opposite direction to where our hand is on our chest, looking up diagonally, and again, nice stretch down the front here. And this hand should just help create a bit more of a stretch for you than it would be without the hand there. And then back to the middle. Okay, we're going to move on to the shoulders now. So before we do some stretching, let's just do a few rolls, just to get nice movement in there. Okay, and then relax. And then we're going to keep our hands in this position, and we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together at the back. I'm just going to hold this for 10. Again, if you can't have your hands up here, hands by your side, squeezing the shoulder blades, same movement. Okay, and then back to neutral. Now we're going to bring our arms in front of us. I'm going to lift them so that the bottom of our arm, I'll show you from the side, is parallel to our legs. And we're just going to lift them up, and you should feel this stretch under here. If you can't do it with your hands on your shoulders, it's fine to lift your arms up like this, as much range as you can get. But we're not coming out to the side. It's a forwards motion like this. Okay, so I'll just do this one for now. Nice stretch down the back of your arms. Okay, lowering back down. Now we're going to put one hand behind our back. I'll show you what that looks like. Just be able to see there that it's just along my back in a straight line. And we're just going to hold that and squeeze the shoulder blades together again as we're doing this movement. If you can't get your arm behind your back, we can bring our arm just back behind us like this. Okay. I'm just going to take that arm back to the middle. Same again with the other arm, either like this or like this. Holding this for a bit. Okay, and then arms back in front of you. Okay, the next one we're going to do is we're going to bring one arm across our body. We're going to use this arm to pull it further across, okay? If you can't get your arm up here, what you can do is lean slightly forward, put your arm against this knee, and you can push into it like this, and you should feel this stretch all the way down here. Okay, so we're just leaning into that, or we're in this position. Okay, and then dropping that back down onto the other side. We're in this position, or we're in this position. Leaning into that, making sure we're not putting too much pressure on the elbow, just to get a nice stretch through the back of here. Okay, dropping the arms down by our sides. Give them a bit of a shake. Okay, what we're going to do now is arms straight out to the sides, palms away from you. And what we're going to do is just going to rotate those palms as far as they can go so that they're almost facing out to the side. And you should feel this in your forearm. So you might need to put quite a bit of effort into that twisting movement. Okay, and relax. Now we're going to move on to the wrists, okay? So we're going to put our arm straight out in front of us or down here, wherever's most comfortable for you. And we're going to use our other arm to pull the fingers towards us. Okay, and then give your wrists a bit of a move. And then we're going to do the other motion. Going to point the fingers down towards the ground and pull towards you. Okay, give that wrist a bit of a shake. And we're going to go on to this one. What I was doing, that one. Pull your fingers up towards you. and then dropping the fingers down, pointing towards the ground, pulling that wrist towards you. And just give that a little wiggle again. Okay, now we're going to go into just the fingers. So we're going to interlock our fingers and we're going to turn our palms so they're facing away from us and have our arms straight out in front of us. And this should give the fingers a nice stretch. If you're not able to interlock your fingers, you can manually rest your palm on your leg and you can pull your fingers up towards you. But we're just isolating the fingers and we're not going for the wrist here. So this is the other position. This is what it looks like from the side. Just going to hold that. Okay, and relax. Give the fingers and the wrists a bit of a shake out. Okay, now we're just going to tap our fingers together. So we're going to use the thumb as the midpoint. Tap our first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Okay, do that on both sides. Just getting that movement into those fingers. So just do a couple of them. Okay, and then finally on the hand, you can stretch out the thumb. Put your hand in front of you like this, and we're just going to push our thumb away from our fingers in this sort of motion. Don't push it too far, just to get a nice stretch on it. And you should feel this down here. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, onto the other hand. You can use your hand, you can use your fingers, whatever you find the best anchor point to be. Okay, give those wrists a bit of a shake. Okay, we're going to move on to the body now. So the first thing we're going to do is a trunk rotation. Okay, so we're going to, what we were doing before with our head, we're now going to bring the whole body in. Okay, so I like to have my hands here. You can either have your hands like this or your hands just by your side. If we've got our hands here, we're going to twist and we're going to hold this. So your hips should be still on the chair. The movement is just coming from the upper body. You should feel this down your back. Okay, and then back to the middle. Now we're going to move to the other side. Make sure we're breathing through this because this is a bit more of a strenuous one. Nice deep breaths. And back to the middle. Okay, we're dropping those arms down. We're going to put one arm, in fact, we're going to put both arms down to the side. And we're just going to lean our whole body down towards the floor on the one side. If you can, with the arm that's free, we're going to bring that over the head and increase the stretch. And this stretch should be felt all down this side. Okay, so we're not leaning too far, we just need to be able to feel the stretch on that side. Okay, and then when we're coming back up, bring the arm first and then the body. Okay, onto the other side. Reaching down towards the floor. Arm first, body. Okay. Now what we're going to do is a full body roll, okay? So we're going to arms by the sides again, drops the head, shoulders, body, down towards the floor, as far down as you can go so you're getting a stretch in your back. This might be quite a nice relaxing one. You might not feel much of a stretch. Just going to stay here. Just getting nice extension through the back. And then when we come up, we're going to come up slowly and we're going to bring the hips in first and then roll the body up, bring the shoulders in, and the head is the last to come up. Okay? Okay, moving on to the next one. We're going to put our hands on our hips just so we can feel what our pelvis is doing. And we're going to arch our back. I will show you from the side so you can see what I'm doing. Going to arch our back so we should feel a nice stretch down each side of our back here. And at the same time, we're squeezing those shoulder blades together again. So nice full stretch. Back down to the middle. And relax. Okay, making sure we're breathing through all of these exercises. Okay, the next one we're going to do, you might need a chair in front of you. And if you can't do it, that's absolutely fine. Just miss this one out. We're going to bring our knee up to our chest and squeeze it in towards us. So from the side, this is what it looks like. Squeezing in towards us. Okay, so just going to hold that. And again, if you're struggling, don't worry. We have the option, if we are going to bring a chair in, you can put a chair in front of you and you can just rest that on there and you can lean into your leg. Stretch, making sure we're holding on to the leg. Okay, then lower that leg back down. And then onto the other leg. In towards you. And with this one as well, we want to make sure we're not leaning back too much. We want to try and keep a nice position. Pulling the knee in. And then drop that back down to the floor. Okay, now we're going to do our glutes. So if you can, we're going to bring this leg on top of our other leg. And you should feel this stretch down here. If you need to apply some pressure, you can. But this is the position. If you can't do this position, we can bring this leg over that leg like this. You should still feel a bit of a stretch down here. Holding that for a bit longer. Okay, and then dropping that leg back down, swapping legs. You might find one side's a bit tighter than the other on these. Again, stretch down here. Just a few more seconds. And dropping that leg back down nice and carefully. Okay, now we're going to move on to the hamstrings. So we're going to put one leg out in front of us straight. Show you from this angle. This knee stays bent. We're going to point our toes up to the sky. And we're going to lean as far into it as necessary to feel the stretch down the back of that leg. You should feel it mostly here. You might feel a little bit in your calf. The more you point your toes up to the sky, the more you're going to feel it there. So we're going to lean into that. If you're not feeling a stretch and you need to raise your foot, you can pop your foot on something, a small box or something like that. Just get a bit of a raise in it, and then the stretch will increase for you. Okay. To the middle, and then on to the other side. On the side again, this is what it looks like, toes up, leaning into it. Okay, and then back up. Okay, the next one we're going to do is the inside of our leg here. So we're going to keep one leg still, try and make sure this knee doesn't move. And we're going to bring this leg as far out to the side as we can so that you're nice and stable, and you should feel down the inside of your leg here. Let's keep a nice hold on that one. Okay, and then slowly bringing that leg inwards. Same again on this side, as far out as you can get it. Should feel a nice stretch. Okay, and then nice and slowly bringing that leg back in. This one's going to be a little bit tricky to feel the stretch where we need it, but what you're going to do is you're going to drop this knee down towards the floor. If you can't do it, again, just miss this one out. If you have the ability to, show you from the side, so your knee's going to be dropped like this. If you have the ability to, you can grab that leg, but you need something to hold on to. But we're aiming just for this knee to come down to the floor, and you should feel it through your quads, down this muscle here. Again, just make sure you're nice and balanced on that chair. Just miss this one out if you can't do it. Okay, and then bringing that leg back up. I'm going to stay central for this one, just so it's a bit easier for me. Going to drop that. You might need to shuffle to the side of your chair to drop this knee, but again, this is a bit of a unconventional one, so please just miss this out. I'd rather you missed it out than we're unsafe doing it. Okay, and back to the middle. I'm just going to grab a towel for this last one. You have a much smaller towel than this when you do it, but what we're looking for is our foot out and straight in front of us like this, like we were in the hamstring stretch. We're looping the towel around the toes, and we're pulling our foot up towards us. Should just feel the pull in the back of the leg down here. Again, if you don't have a towel, you're not feeling a stretch like that, just without the towel, point the toes as far up towards the sky as you can get them. Okay. Again, we're pulling from the toe, not down here from the heel. So we're not going to get stretched like that. It needs to be from the toe. And you can do this with a TheraBand as well. Okay. Moving on to the other leg. Straight out in front of you. Looping the towel around the toe. Pulling the foot up towards you. Okay, And then we're going to relax now. Pop the towel away. I'm going to sit nice and straight. Give your arms a bit of a shake off. Give your legs a wiggle. I'm just going to do a few deep breaths. In and out. And just 2 more. And out. Last one. In and out. Okay, that's the stretching done. Thank you all for participating. And yeah, just do this in your own time. If you need to pause as you go along, just feel free. You have the ability to do that now. This is recorded. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.